Hi guys, welcome to my kitchen. So today I'm going to show you my version of a butter chicken. But so I literally always tell people that butter chicken is quick to make, right? So today I'm sort of going to show you how quick it is to make. I'm gonna put on a timer to actually see how long it's gonna, a stopwatch actually, to see how long it's gonna take from start to finish. The only thing I've done is I've just marinated the chicken in some yogurt. Okay, let's get started. So I don't know if you can see, there we go. I'm gonna start the timer now, and then I'm gonna put it away, and then I am going to get started. So first in line is butter. You can use margarine, it works as well. You can use clarified butter, which is ghee, that works as well. But today I'm just using butter because that's what I have. I'm just gonna try and bring you a little bit closer. Isabella, should be. I think that's much better. So basically, this is the first step. I'm going to make sure that the butter is melted. And then I'm going to put in the chicken. Now, remember I said that the only thing I've done to the chicken is the marinating. So I've put in some yogurt, some cumin, a little bit of salt, a little bit of black pepper, and I have so I used plain yogurt, but if you don't have that, you can use buttermilk as well. I find that it works just as well. And then I've also put a little bit of garam masala. That's what I was looking for. So I've put in a little bit of garam masala, and that's what's going to give the flavor to my butter chicken. So it's about 7 minutes, and as you can see, we're well into our butter chicken. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the chicken 3 more minutes. So you're looking at about 5 to 7 minutes, and then the chicken will sort of be ready for us to start layering on all the other flavors. So 7 minutes into the cook. I'm not exactly sure how long the chicken has been, but now I'm going to give it about, let's give it now about 2 more minutes. Then that's all in all 6 minutes. Then we'll be ready. So what I'm doing actually now is I'm just preparing my stuff to get started with the naan bread. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to do the naan bread just alongside the chicken while we are doing that. Okay, so now I'm going to add some onion into the pot, and yes, this is butter chicken with onion. My version has onion because I really like the depth of flavor that the onion brings to the whole dish. And all my curries normally start with onion, garlic and ginger, so nothing different about this one. Okay, so I've got the pan on for my naan bread. So for my naan bread, I'm going to be using the same recipe for the dough as I've used with my tortilla recipe. I think, yeah, I've got a video that I made with the tortilla recipe. I will link it onto this video, and that's basically the recipe I'm going to be using. The only difference is what I normally do with the tortillas is I will immediately then fry off the tortillas and make them a different shape. With the naan bread, I just leave the dough to sit aside for about 15 minutes to sort of find itself a little bit before I get to cooking it. And then I will shape the bread in whatever shape I'm feeling for. I'm not sure what the shape is. Let's try and tuck it in. And then I'm going to leave it on. So basically what we are looking for is for the bread, it will actually basically start to harden and it will start to squash a little bit at the bottom. That's perfectly alright. And what you're also going to see is it's going to start to bubble a little bit. Just a little bit, not all the way, and that's also fine. And then we're going to turn it over. And as soon as the bread is done, fully done, then I'm going to take a little bit of butter, a little bit of melted butter, and then I'm going to brush it on top of the bread. Okay. So you see the sauce for the chicken is getting quite thick, and the onion is melted in nicely. And now I'm going to go in with some garlic. It's actually quite a lot of garlic, because that's just how I like it. And then next in is the ginger. You cannot go wrong with garlic and ginger. Okay, I'm just going to get a pair of tongs. So we can see what's happening to our braid. Okay. It's browned just a little bit, but not yet ready for us. And we are at 12 minutes. We are not rubbish at all. So remember, I started making the rice right at the beginning, or actually before I started with the curry. And basically I brought the rice to a boil. And once it started boiling, I took the heat all the way down to the lowest setting. And then I closed the pot, and then I've just let it go. So what I've just done is I've put in this particular curry powder that I'm using is the masala powder by Paco. If you don't have this, you can use a mix of garam masala, cumin, turmeric, as well as cayenne pepper. And then you can use that to flavor your butter chicken. My masala curry powder gives me all the flavor I need, and I've been using it for so many years that it really is, I don't think I can use anything else. But you know what? I can be swayed. Okay, so we're just going to give it a little bit. Just turn down the heat on your curry and just give the spices some time to just cook off a little bit. And while that's happening, I'm going to be turning, no, not turning yet, almost, but not turning yet. smell in here is getting absolutely overwhelming. Oopsie, we got a little bit of curry on there. I don't think the bread minds. Just gonna try and get some butter ready. I've got a little bit of melted butter there that I'm going to be putting on the bread. Just going to turn the bread. I'm sure it's okay now. There we go. So we've got a little bit of a hardening happening and the browning. And you did realize that in the beginning, when I put the bread, I didn't have any oil in the pan, and that was definitely intentional because I was looking for this. I didn't want the bread to fry at all, so that's why we did that. Okay, so on the butter chicken, next in line is going to be the tomato puree or crushed tomatoes, whatever you prefer to use. I prefer the tomato puree because it really does work for me. If I buy a bottle of passata and then I use it in my butter chicken, I normally will leave like half of it, and after I've used it and the half is left over, then I know in the same week I can use the same bottle or whatever's left over of the bottle to make something else that's delicious. And it works out cheaper for me. So that's the tomato, followed by some cream. So this is fresh cream that I'm putting in, and now that I've done that, I'm going to be taking the heat down. Now the thing is, because we are putting cream in with a tomato product, it is automatically going to do that funny thing that looks like it's curdling. Don't worry about that. The deliciousness that is going to be happening in here is going to surpass any of that drama. Okay, just gonna mix it in. Mix it in. I'm looking for a certain color, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more of my tomato. Much better. Much better. Okay, so because I put in so much of that crushed tomato, the tomato puree, I will also normally just put in some sugar to just help cut the sourness of the tomato, and it also just gives a little bit of a sweetness, which I like in my butter chicken. Absolutely optional, but in my version of butter chicken, that's how it works. Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of the butter and I'm gonna put it on the naan, and what it's gonna do is it's gonna make it softer. And then I'm gonna try see if we can, let's turn this out, then I'll rub it onto the other side. but I'll get some more bread in the meantime. Okay, so this seems to be more the more high maintenance products that I'm busy with. Everything else seems to be going perfectly on its own. So I'm going to be testing. So this you can leave to go on for about 10 minutes. You'll see that your sauce will start to thicken a bit more, and during this time you'll have all those wonderful flavors develop, and it actually becomes really amazing. And at this point is where I would test for the salt. I think just a little bit, just a tad of salt will come in handy. And guys, that's it. So our butter chicken, I just want to show you. Actually, I can stop it. Let's do that. It'll make it easier, much easier. So our butter chicken is ready. So 24 minutes and 42 seconds is how long it's taken us to get our butter chicken ready. I've just literally tasted it, and then I adjusted a little bit of the salt as you saw me do it, and now I'm going to be turning it off. And as you can see, it's got so much of that lovely gravy that we are going to mop up with this bread that we've made over here. I've got another piece of bread going over there. Let's just check that quickly. But the butter chicken is ready, so I'm literally going to stop the clock. Or have I? Let's see. Yes, I have. So I've stopped the clock. I'm just going to butter this baby up a little bit, and then I am going to dish up a plate for us that we can see how our baby ended up. Let's do that. So I'm going to dish up for myself. Actually, I'm literally dishing up for you, so you can see how this goes. And this is the rice. I'm just gonna fluff it. So it's good practice to fluff up your rice with a fork, but goodness knows there isn't ever time for that kind of thing in the real kitchens. Let's clean this up quickly. Okay, now that we've fluffed up the rice, I'm just going to dish up for you and I a nice generous portion. So you'll see that the rice, I've actually got quite a lot of rice that I've cooked. but that's because I like the rice to be left over. Just gonna mix up the butter chicken a little bit, nice and saucy, and it's that beautiful orangey color that we've got there. That's definitely what I'm going for. I want a lot more sauce. There we go. And then I'm going to take some of my homemade naan bread. Let's try and move this out of the way. Find a space for it somewhere on the counter. So I can put your plate of food right here, front and center. And then I'm going to take some naan bread. So I'll take the top one. Oof. Just going to put that over there. Pretty your plate up. I'm actually really just literally ripping this bread apart because first I want to make this pretty, and secondly I literally want you to see how nice and soft it is and how easy it's going to did you see me just wanting to, I don't even know what to do with myself. And then I don't have any fresh coriander, but I've got dried coriander that I've dried for myself in my microwave. I've also got a video for that, so I will put that up on there, and that's what I'm going to put on. If you've got the fresh stuff, that would be absolutely perfect. Just chopped up, thinly chopped up, and then you just use it to garnish your plate of food. So this is me. This is dinner. I'm going to get in this really quickly before the messes descend on the kitchen. I'm going to call them just now. But before I go, I just wanted to say thank you very much for coming into my kitchen and enjoying today's cook with me. It always makes me feel so much better knowing I'm not alone. Just remember to like the video, to leave a comment, and come back next time so we can enjoy cooking together. Ciao!